Fire and Ashburn. Do you think the Commanders are still playing lovable losers? Listen up. A ghost RB with receiver hands and a hunger for legend is hours away from exposing a defense in Week 1, while the franchise plots the heist of the summer. A WR with dynasty DNA hidden behind stars? His breakout will be so brutal even Dallas will sweat panic. But WAI, the real play involves an undercover agent. A clutch veteran Peters activated to finish what he started in San Francisco. This is not a rebuild. It's UCA-level warfare. The NFC East doesn't know what's coming. A storm of depth, intelligence, and dog mentality that will make even Philly shake. Subscribe now or get stuck in 2024. This is the first look at the monster Peters built. And only here will you find out how they will destroy everything in their path. After years of watching this team rely on big names that never lived up to expectations, we finally have a situation where surprises can come from unexpected places. And you know what's driving me absolutely wild? That while everyone is talking about Krosky Merritt as the future of the backfield, there's a running back who could steal the show from the first Sunday. I'm telling you, Rodriguez is not just a waiver wire option. He's a bomb waiting to explode. Mark Morrell-Smith from Sports Illustrated is clear. This guy could start the season as the early down starter and get most of the goal line work. Do you understand what that means? While everyone is fighting over Krosky Merritt in fantasy, Rodriguez could be the one scoring the touchdowns that really matter. But let me explain why Rodriguez is so much more than just an alternative. This guy is 5'10" and weighs 215 pounds of pure muscle. Have you seen his combination of speed and power? In college, this guy averaged 5.8 yards per carry and had the ability to break tackles that 240-pound running backs couldn't manage. His running style is perfect for what Dan Quinn wants to do with this attack. And do you know why Peters kept him on the roster? Because Rodriguez has something many running backs don't. Football intelligence. This guy studies film like a 10-year veteran, understands protections, knows when to audible a run play, and more importantly, has the hands to be a factor in the passing game. In his last 2 seasons in college, Rodriguez had 47 receptions for 389 yards. Those numbers don't lie. But you know what's craziest about all this? That Rodriguez has the perfect timing. Krosky Merritt is generating. All the buzz, all the spotlights are on him, and meanwhile, Rodriguez is working quietly, perfecting every aspect of his game. The coaches have noticed his dedication in practice, his ability to execute the complete playbook, and his never-give-up mentality that you need to succeed in this league. I firmly believe Rodriguez is going to surprise a lot of people because he has exactly the kind of physical and mental attributes that Dan Quinn loves. When you need those tough yards on 3rd and short, when you need to protect Jaden Daniels in the pocket, when you need a back who can run between the tackles and make plays in space, Rodriguez is going to be the guy who gets you out of trouble. And do you know what I love about all this? It gives us real options. If Krosky Merritt gets injured, we're not left empty-handed like in previous seasons where we relied on a single player for all production. If we need to change the pace of the game, if the opposing defense is prepared to stop a specific running style, we have the tools to adapt and remain effective. This is the difference between an organization planning for long-term success and one that hopes everything goes perfectly without having backup plans. Peters understands that in the NFL, you can never have enough talent, especially in physical positions like running back where injuries are part of the game. Rodriguez also brings something intangible that I love: hunger. This guy knows he's in a situation where he has to take advantage of every opportunity because the competition is ferocious. That underdog mentality is exactly what can generate those explosive plays that change entire games. While other backs are thinking about their individual numbers, Rodriguez is thinking about how to help the team win. And that mentality is contagious in a locker room. If that surprises you, wait to hear this about Luke McCaffrey. Because what's happening with this guy perfectly represents why this franchise is changing its mindset completely. Andrew Bullerus from Sportsnaut just named McCaffrey as the biggest breakout star for the Commanders in 2025. And I'm going to explain why that's not as crazy as some think. After a rookie season where he only had 18 receptions for 168 yards, McCaffrey is competing for the WR3 spot behind McLaurin and Deebo Samuel. But do you think that's a coincidence? I tell you, nitrogen monoxide. McCaffrey has the DNA of a champion running through his veins. He's Christian McCaffrey's brother, Ed McCaffrey's son, and now he's in the perfect system to unleash all that talent. The connection with Jaden Daniels could be explosive because they both understand what it means to have high expectations from day one. But let me tell you the real story of Luke McCaffrey that many don't know. This guy didn't reach the NFL by chance or because of his last name. At Rice University, McCaffrey was absolutely dominant in his last 2 seasons as a receiver. We're talking about 69 receptions for 1,121 yards and 14 touchdowns in just 2 years playing the position. Do you understand how incredible that progression is? Do you know why PETERS selected him in the 3rd round? Because McCaffrey has something very few receivers in the draft had: absolute versatility. This guy can play slot, can play outside, can run routes from the backfield, can be used in wildcat formations, and has the football intelligence to understand complex coverages from the first snap. I think people are forgetting something fundamental. McCaffrey had only been playing receiver for 2 years in college when he got here. Do you know how crazy that is? Most receivers take years to develop the chemistry necessary with their quarterback, the perfect technique to separate from elite cornerbacks, and the football IQ to make the necessary adjustments on complicated routes. McCaffrey is doing all that while still learning the fundamentals of the position. And now imagine this, with the high-volume attack that Dan Quinn is planning, with Jaden Daniels throwing the ball 35 to 40 times per game, with Cliff Kingsbury designing plays specifically to maximize McCaffrey's unique skill set. Don't you think he's going to have plenty of opportunities to shine? Because I guarantee you that when you start seeing those perfect routes, those secure hands in traffic, and that ability to create separation in crucial moments, you'll understand why PETERS didn't trade him despite all the options he had. The pressure is there. I won't lie to you. With Deebo Samuel coming in as the new WR1 alongside McLaurin, with Jalen Lane drafted in the 4th round specifically to add depth to the position group, with Noah Brown still on the roster as a reliable option, McCaffrey has to prove he deserves to be in that conversation of receivers who can impact games in crucial situations. But that pressure is exactly what McCaffrey needs to take the next step in his development. This guy thrives under pressure. We saw it in college when he had to switch from quarterback to receiver. We saw it in combine workouts where he impressed scouts with his mental preparation. And we're seeing it now in training camp where he's consistently making plays that have coaches talking. You know what my bold prediction for McCaffrey this season is? That he's going to finish with at least 50 receptions, 650 yards, and 6 touchdowns, and those numbers will come in crucial moments. Red zone targets, 3rd down conversions, clutch catches in the 4th quarter. McCaffrey is going to be the type of receiver Jaden Daniels looks for when he needs to make a play that keeps drives alive. And here's what really excites me about McCaffrey. His ceiling is astronomical. We're talking about a guy who has the athletic ability of his brother Christian, the route technique he inherited from his father Ed, and now he's in a system designed specifically to maximize that type of versatility. When McCaffrey finally puts it all together, and I believe it's going to be sooner rather than later, he's going to be unstoppable. But here's what's really crazy, and this is what's completely driving me out of my mind. Kendrick Bourne is visiting Ashbourne today, and if you don't understand the significance of this, let me explain why this could be the smartest move PETERS has made so far. You're crazy if you think this is a coincidence. PETERS worked with Bourne in San Francisco during the most productive years of his career, knows exactly what this guy can do in complex systems, understands his work ethic, and knows how to maximize his strengths while minimizing any weaknesses he might have. And now that Bourne requested his release from New England after they couldn't close the trade with Minnesota, Peters is there waiting with open arms and a perfect plan to use him. I'm telling you, Bourne isn't just another veteran receiver looking for a team after a bad situation. This guy had 28 receptions for 305 yards and a touchdown last year in a horrible Patriots attack, with quarterbacks who couldn't consistently complete passes and an offensive system that was completely dysfunctional. Can you imagine what he could do with Jaden Daniels throwing him the ball with precision, with Cliff Kingsbury designing plays that maximize his route running ability, and with Dan Quinn creating an environment where he can focus completely on football? But let me tell you the complete story of why Bourne is exactly what the Commanders need right now. During his years in San Francisco, Bourne was consistently productive in one of the most complex offensive systems in the entire NFL. We're talking about 61 receptions for 776 yards and 11 touchdowns in 2021. Numbers that put him in elite company for receivers in his tier of the league. You know why those numbers are so important? Because Bourne produced them while competing for targets with Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and other elite playmakers. In New England, even in a terrible offensive system, Bourne showed flashes of that same productivity when he had opportunities. The problem was never his ability, the problem was the complete dysfunction of the Patriots. Offense. And do you know what's most incredible about all this? That it shows the ruthless and at the same time intelligent mentality Peters has for building this roster. He doesn't care if he already has talented receivers like McLaurin, Samuel, and McCaffrey. He doesn't care if some fans think they don't need more depth. All he cares about is creating competition in every position group and having options for every possible scenario that can arise during an entire season. Peters understands something that many GMs don't, that in the modern NFL, you can never have enough reliable receivers. Injuries happen, matchup problems occur, and you need guys who can step up in crucial moments without missing a beat. Bourne represents exactly that type of insurance policy that championship teams always have. Bourne knows perfectly well the type of system that Peters likes to run because they worked together in San Francisco. He understands the route concepts, knows how to adjust in different coverages, and has the experience to be productive from day one without needing extensive coaching or an adjustment period. At 30 years old, he's in that perfect stage where he still has the physical ability to make plays, but already has the mental maturity to be a leader in the receiver room and help younger players develop. But you know what the most genius part of this potential signing is? That Bourne also brings playoff experience and a clutch gene that this franchise desperately needs. This guy has made big catches in big moments, knows what it takes to perform when everything is on the line, and understands the mental aspect of winning games in crucial situations. And now I ask you, while Jerry Jones is counting pennies in Dallas and refusing to pay market value for players who can help them win now, while the Eagles are trying to justify terrible contracts that are killing their salary cap flexibility, isn't it beautiful to see Peters being aggressive and smart at the same time? Because I believe Bourne will be exactly the type of low-risk, high-reward signing that will make a difference in November and December, when games become tighter and every possession becomes crucial. This is the difference between having a GM who understands how to build a championship team and one who just hopes everything works magically. Peters is 3 steps ahead of everyone, always thinking about contingencies and ways to improve the roster. And Bourne is the perfect proof of that. Championship mindset. If Bourne signs with the Commanders, and I believe it's going to happen, because the fit is too perfect, he's going to give Jaden Daniels, another reliable target who knows exactly how to get open when the pocket collapses, how to make catches in traffic, and how to execute in high-pressure situations. That combination of experience, reliability, and clutch performance is exactly what young teams need to make the jump from good to great. Commanders fans, this is Burgundy and Gold, baby. We just saw 3 news stories that perfectly define where this franchise is headed. Rodriguez can be our unexpected hero that gives us the depth and versatility we've never had in the backfield. McCaffrey is ready for his breakout season that will prove why Peters invested a third-round pick in his potential. And Bourne could be the final piece Peters needs to complete this incredible puzzle he's building. I guarantee that tomorrow we'll have more explosive news because Peters doesn't rest, Quinn doesn't rest, and this organization finally understands that in the NFL, you have to be ruthless if you want to compete with the best teams year after year. Do you think Rodriguez is going to surprise everyone in Week 1 and become the breakout star that no one saw coming? Is McCaffrey finally going to show why he's a McCaffrey and prove that genetics combined with work ethic can create something special? Is Bourne going to sign and give the Commanders the depth and experience they need to make serious noise in the playoffs? Let me know everything in the comments because I need to hear your opinions on these decisions from Peters and how you think they're going to impact our championship aspirations. Hit LIKE if you believe Peters is building something truly special that can compete with anyone in the NFC. Subscribe if you want to be part of this family that lives and breathes burgundy and gold every day of the year, because you cannot miss what's coming. This season is going to be historic, and I'm going to be here every day bringing you the most important news, the deepest and honest analysis, and the passion that only us DMV fans truly understand.